Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, members of council, members of staff. Jeff Brake, Mike Ratter here from our Economic Development Officer, CA. At this point, it is 7:01. We have 19 attendees. We'd like to welcome all the attendees that have logged on to our public meeting on March 23rd, 2023. I'd like to say it's an absolutely beautiful day in the great town of Stephenville, Newfoundland. Spring is definitely in the air, and as a testimonial, just in case there are people from around the globe or around the province that have logged in, that we are every year the first community that has the golf course open every year. So that tells you that spring arrives in Stephenville earlier than other golf towns in this great province. Just saying. Okay. I would ask a member of council that we would approve the agenda as circulated.
So moved.
Moved by Councilor Myra White, seconder. Second by Councilor Lindy Tiller. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. And just a little update, not an update, just a little housekeeping issue. We've had some feedback from people listening in. That sometimes when councilors speak, that they can't hear them. So I would ask, if possible, when a councilor is speaking on an issue or debating or putting a motion or responding, that you try to use some your diaphragm and try to speak with courage and all those good things. Sound good?
Sounds good to me.
Okay. Okay, so we'll go to item number 2. Did I get all in favor? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Item number 2 is the approval of the minutes for March the 9th, 2023, 2 weeks ago. I would ask a member of council to move that those minutes be accepted.
Moved.
Moved by Councilor Laura Aylward, second.
Second.
Second, Councilor Myra White, all in favor.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Are there any matters arising from those minutes? I did notice there was a little typo that Councilor Myra White picked up on, and thank you for the good work on looking at the clarity of those minutes. I do appreciate that. Okay, proclamations. I just want to say we're getting very, very close to March 26th, but it is proclamation. It's Purple Day for Epilepsy in this great country of ours. And we do know that epilepsy is a very debilitating ailment that people have. And it's nice that all of these things are recognized, and further science hopefully will come to a point where these debilitating diseases can be eradicated from society. Okay, committee reports. I'm going to turn over to our chair, Councilor Myra White, for item 5.1. It's all yours, Councilor White.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Finance Committee. The Finance Committee met on March the 21st, 2023, and the following items were recommended for council's approval. Item number 1 is the accounts payable. Requesting approval to pay accounts payable listing for February 2023 totaling $207,399.65. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Myra White, seconder. Second by Councilor Taylor. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. I just want to say before you move to the next one too, Councilor Tracy Boland is out of town and unable to make our meeting tonight. And I believe Councilor Tristan Newland is just running a little late, so he may be joining us shortly.
Tracy, she's not online, is she, Tracy?
No. Okay.
Item number 2, Community Grant Program. Requesting approval to adopt Community Grant Program. The town of Stephenville will award grants to non-profit groups for initiatives that enhance our community. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Myra White, second.
Second.
Second by Deputy Mayor Susan Fallow. I'd just like to speak on that. I'd like to commend management for the work they've done on this. And in the past, we've set budgets for community grants. And we tend to get just one-off requests that we deal with, and not that there was anything wrong with any of the dealings that we did have. But this is a little bit more comprehensive, and it requires the applicants to actually submit a more formal request and a follow-up, which I guess lends to a higher due diligence of public accounts as we're spending our money. So I'd just like to thank the management team for the work that was done on that document. So on that note, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item number 3, terminate the tax agreement, requesting approval to terminate the taxation agreement between the town of Stephenville, Port Harmon Authority Limited, and 69385 Newfoundland and Labrador, Inc., that was approved by motion number 19-267. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Myra White, second.
Second.
Second by Councilor Laura Aylward. Question? Question, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
No, motion carried. That's a short finance
The
agenda.
first short one I've had since I got here.
Yeah, we're taking it easy on you now.
Oh,
Launch in the spring.
it was a whole lot easier, especially where I was gone away for a couple of days.
So Colin, Jennifer, nothing late on finance? Okay, planning and traffic, I'm gonna turn it over to our chair of planning, counselor, the longest serving counselor in the town of Stephenville. You're gonna probably, have we done any research to see, are you Newfoundland, a little longest serving counselor?
I don't think so. Maybe, I'm not 100% sure, but I don't
Well,
think
we
so.
might have to check that out with M&L.
I don't think so. I might be in the top 10, but I don't know if I'm not. I was
Yeah,
trying
you're
to-
still pretty young.
I was trying to catch up to Hazel in Mississauga.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't speak as well as she could, so I had to back off.
You can see where you're living.
Yes, sir. And she lived to
I
be.
mean, she can roll my feet, there's not much she couldn't do.
No, that's for sure. Okay, well, the Planning and Traffic Committee met on March 21st, and the following items were recommended for council approval. First item is 9 and 11 West Street, TNT Limited, requesting approval to consolidate 2 parcels of land, 9 by 11. I guess,
9 and 11.
9 and 11, sorry. West Street into 1 parcel to be known as 9 West Street, and to add extension 24 by 83 feet to the rear of the existing building and replace room with 5-12 pitch at a height of 26 feet on the property located at 9 West Street, subject to Service NL approval. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Laura Aylward, seconded
Second.
by Deputy Mayor Susan Fallow. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay,
Second item, 1 Washington Drive, Allmark Enterprises Limited, requesting approval to change ownership and continue to operate existing medical clinic on the property located at 1 Washington Drive. I so move.
moved by Councilor Laura Aylward. I'd like to also, before I call for the seconder, welcome Councilor Tristan Yulin, who just arrived. Thanks for making it here, Tristan.
Hello, sorry for the delay.
So we do have a motion. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Myra White. I'd just like to speak that this is the existing medical clinic here in Stephenville on Washington Drive that Dr. McCumsky operated for decades. And we are very grateful to have fee-for-service physicians that provide that service in our community. But Dr. Maxwell was one of the doctors that was part of our recruitment strategy and success stories. He was a doctor that came to Stephenville as part of our recruitment package offerings. Now he's invested in our town. He's not only bought a home in the region, but now he's bought a business in our town. I do believe there are plans for a pharmacy to be within that facility. And there may be other family members coming to live in our town. And that's really good news for the community. When you look at communities such as Bonavista that were without doctors, I added it up the other day between our surgeons and our hospitalists and our ER doctors and our anesthetists and our internists and our fee-for-service doctors, our salary physicians. We have close to 15, 17 doctors in Stephenville and probably 3 or 4 nurse practitioners. So a complement of 20 primary caregivers in our town. And we are very grateful for that. But I truly believe the leadership of this council on our recruitment in the past paid dividends to the community and its residents. So on that note, we have a motion and a seconder. Jennifer, you're good there? We just need all in favor.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Next item, 4 Pennsylvania Drive, Tia Teresa's.
Number C.
C.
What?
I'm C.
Oh, number C. Good thing you're watching. And I got new glasses beside.
You
Don't have to use the magnifying glass though, anyway. Okay, next one is, must be in a hurry to go Shoppers Drug Mart for Seniors Day or something. 147 Main Street, Suzanne Barry, Counseling Services, for requesting approval to operate a counseling business and erect a sign on the building located at 147 Main Street, subject to Service NL approval. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Orr, seconder.
I'll second.
Second, Councilor Kristen Yulin, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
And I believe that's in the subway building, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, next one is 4 Pennsylvania Drive. Tia Teresa's Childcare requesting approval to operate a licensed family childcare business from the residence located at 4 Pennsylvania Drive, subject to Service NL approval. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Ward, seconder.
Second.
Mayor Susan Fowler, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Last item, if there's no late, Bay St. George Mountain Bike Club, Mountain Bike Trail System, requesting approval to construct 5 mountain bike trails. Trail 0220, Trail Bomb Track, Mardina, Reefer, NORAD and Reed to be located off Igloo Road as per maps provided. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Ward, seconder.
Second.
Second by Deputy Mayor Susan Fowler. I just want to say that it's a great recreational resource for Stephenville. And it's so nice to see it part of the Winter Carnival. They had a Easter egg hunt for the kids, and there seemed to be a lot of kids on that trail. So
Yeah.
I gotta give a lot of compliments to the team that put that together, and with Marissa and the recreation department.
Oh, I got 2 more, I forgot.
Yes.
Okay, so the next one, I'm in conflict. I just step away from the table. What's that?
We didn't.
All
Did we
in
all
favor?
say?
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Carried. Okay, I'm gonna turn over the gavel to Lori Orr.
Okay, bang, bang.
Oh, my.
Hit somebody in the head there in a minute. Okay, next item is a proposed amendment to municipal plan and development regulations. Requesting approval to proceed with public consultations for proposed municipal plan amendment number 10-2023 and proposed development regulations amendment number 17-2023. Proposed changes include to remove the restriction on development that cannot be serviced by municipal water and sewer in a country living residential and comprehensive development area residential zones. It also proposes to extend this country living rural zone by
Country.
country living residential zone by approximately 15 hectares. And the CDAR zone, single dwellings that are accessory to agriculture will be added as a use that may be permitted at council's discretion. The amendments will restrict on-site water sources to shallow wells only and will prohibit deep bedrock wells. The proposed amendments will be available for viewing on the town's website, and the public may provide written comments before the posting deadline. I so move.
Second.
Okay.
Did we have a seconder?
You're gonna call for a second.
I did. I so move, is it?
Okay.
Oh, okay. Who's seconded by Tristan?
Counselor White.
Oh, Counselor Waite, second by Counselor Waite. Moved by Laura Elward, second by Counselor Waite. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Counselor Bowman?
One, counter mine, okay. Lenny Filler, Counselor. Okay, next one.
Okay, I can come back.
You can add this back now. I didn't have to hit anybody. 18 Green Drive is a request for a permit to add an 8-foot by 20-foot extension to the existing garage to operate a personal sawmill on the property located at 18 Green Drive. Requesting approval to deny the permit under the authority of the Town of Stephenville Development Regulations, 2014, Part 1, Article 11, Discretionary Powers of the Town of Stephenville, Article 110, Use is not permitted. Consideration to operate a sawmill was given based on the amenity of the surrounding area. Location is within a residential subdivision neighborhood. Factors of noise and dust. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Overall, secondary. Second, Councilor Lenny Teller, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Be carried.
And that's it for.
Okay, so nothing late, comment, Jennifer? No. Okay, item number 6 are bylaws and regulations. There are nothing there. Any unfinished business? Okay, any new business?
Probably should have came under unfinished business, I don't know.
Well, just for clarity, unfinished business would be any of the files we would be working on that we need to go back to, or something of a current affair that's continuing.
Okay, it will be under unfinished business. We're past it, are we, or
What's that?
are we moved past unfinished business?
Well, we can back up to unfinished business if you want to stage it as unfinished business.
Okay,
And just ask this, remember we had some commentary about, we need to speak up a little bit when we're speaking.
okay. I want to bring up the contribution agreement that we signed 2 weeks ago, and it's nothing to rescind or anything, but if we're looking at timelines, April the 12th is supposed to be the discharge date. Is that still right? April 12th for discharge?
That's what we've been informed by the airport.
Okay. So 21 days after that would be May the 3rd. So by May the 3rd is when the purchaser should own the airport outright, correct? So
Well, I think the terms of the agreement is the purchaser has up to,
okay,
but it could happen in 24 hours.
correct. So based on, we'll just say all things being whole, it takes 21 days to close. We're at May the 3rd. By April 3rd, we should be submitting our 30-day out notice, because that would be 30 days from the final date of which the purchaser would technically own the airport. So I know we can't, I don't think you can file a motion under new business at all, but, or unfinished business, but that's something to be cognizant of, because we don't meet anymore now until the April the 6th.
Well, I think when there's a nature of urgency,
Mm.
a special meeting is called.
Okay.
I think because this file has been ongoing for 20 years, the airport file, that's finally going to come off of the requirements of the taxpayers of the community. We have been briefed by the airport authority, there's a terms of sale. We've been also briefed that the bankruptcy that the airport was held in will be in front of a judge, to be lifted on April 12th, to allow the transfer to happen. That's still with the lawyers, and that's still a moving target. So it's very difficult for us to deal with it now because we have dealt with it at the last meeting.
I do agree with you. It's just,
You know what I'm saying?
we have to make sure we make a minimal amount of $32,500 payments as we can because we don't have it.
And remember, this is a decision of council.
Correct.
Every decision we made would have to take in the form of being added to an agenda, debated, discussed, and voted on to make any decisions.
Correct. But I brought it up under unfinished business because that's where we bring it up to.
So it is something that was already dealt with at a public meeting. So this would be something that would be more conducive to be tabled for discussion at a finance meeting. To be recommended to brought to a public meeting or emergency of a special meeting. You know.
Keep in mind, we might need a special meeting, in my opinion.
Time to time we do at the town of Stephenville. Okay, well, any other comments?
Yeah, I wasn't here for that meeting, but I think what you're saying is that when the transition happens, we've got to submit notice to terminate.
Yes.
So from what I'm reading, absolutely. Once it's transferred, if we don't give notice, we still pay.
So I believe the way that deal is structured is that once the deal executes, that's considered the notice of termination, if I read correctly. So when that changes hands, no more
Yeah,
the
the
payment.
natural termination.
Yes, yeah, and I'm pretty sure that's
You're
stipulated.
right, because pre-occupation date doesn't clarify if the purchaser people was on lease agreement that led to our contribution agreement.
Yeah, we can look into it, but I'm pretty sure that once you have a legal name change on it, in that agreement, it states that it's a termination of funds.
Because it does say the airport SAC can transfer that over to this numbered company.
Okay, yeah,
So
something to check on.
something
Yeah.
very carefully before we spend another 32.
Well, I think the big thing here is, it's been carefully looked over by lawyers from both sides.
Mm.
That's in their hands, outside of our hands. All we were was the catalyst that kept the airport going for this to happen, just like counselors before us. So on that note, any other comment?
I do have a couple. Well, on the airport side of it, I can't believe that anyone in this town would agree with closing our airport for whatever reason. You know, and I hope that, you know, when I'm at this table, that we'd try and see that wouldn't happen. One thing I wanted to say, this is a community, really a community announcement, the Bay St. George Sick Children, well, it's a telethon because they have music and stuff, and it's a radio, it's not radiothon, they're live. They're not, I don't know if they're live or not.
They're not live. Everything is pre-recorded.
Yes,
It's uploaded and they use a Facebook platform
yeah,
for the production.
yes. So they're wanting, you know, inviting people to call in, and people that call in and make a donation, their name will be put in for a draw for a really nice painting that was donated. So I'd encourage people to call in on that day, on the 26th. I had an email today from the former CEO of Western Health, Michelle House. She's given me an update of things that's going on in Western Health while she was in that position as interim. She's telling me that as of April 1st, Western Health will transition to the new provincial health authority, and the senior executive team for the new authority has been named. And I'm pleased that several leaders from the Western region will be part of that team. We have a long history of working together in our region to meet the challenges that we know our residents face, and I am confident that will not change. So she's going on to say that they've continued to work with the Department of Health and Community Services to address the staff shortages and been using a number of strategies to help recruit healthcare professionals, including we continue to work very hard to recruit for our vacant and difficult to fill positions. We have recently hired into our occupational therapist 2 position at LeGros Health Center. This is a significant accomplishment as it has been vacant for 2 years. We have also hired 1 new respiratory therapist, which is also an area that has been experiencing significant changes for some time. Both of these individuals will be starting Western Health upon their respective graduations. We have better success in retaining employees, especially in rural areas, when they are originally from the area. There is ongoing work to attract healthcare professionals with a connection to the region. In the fall of 2022, the Department of Health and Community Services approved a number of additional recruitment incentives, including the Come Home Year incentive to aid in recruitment. We currently have 6 Come Home Year incentive hires pending acceptance. We regularly communicate with high schools and post-secondary school students to promote various professions available in healthcare. Recently, the Bachelor of Science in Nursing students at Western Regional School of Nursing were invited to an event with the Minister of Health and Community Services, the Honorable Tom Osborne. Recruiters and senior executive from Western Health and Western Health's Chief Nursing Officer, Renee Ludi Warren, to discuss nursing opportunities in Western Health and across the province. We are focusing on promoting a positive work environment to individuals who complete student placements at Western Health to heighten their interest in employment after graduation. We regularly connect with physician learners and residents from the Western region and communicating about current and future vacancies. Ongoing attendance at recruitment events, both in person and virtually, reaching local, national, and international audiences. In 2022, Western Health was represented at 19 recruitment events. Continue working with other regional health authorities to attract prospective employees through the provincial marketing campaign, Extraordinary Every Day. Recruiting internationally in partnership with the Provincial Immigration, Population Growth, and Skills Department. Recruitment for healthcare professionals is underway in Ireland and India. To support a focus on international recruitment, we have recently hired an international recruitment consultant and have hired 5 internationally educated nurses as personal care attendants. Actively promoting bursaries, sign-on bonuses, and Come Home Year incentives available through the Provincial Health and Community Service Department. In 2022, Western Health was able to offer 22 bursaries and 3 sign-on bonuses. 22 bursaries and 3 sign-on bonuses. We have recently rehired a retired LPN under the Supervised Practice Experience Program. This is a regularity program that is employment focused and available to eligible candidates in the province of Newfoundland and Labrador who have met educational requirements but do not meet currency of practice. As this will be my last update to you, I want to thank you for all you do for our residents in the region. My job was made so much easier because of you. I also want to remind you that you or anyone you know has individual issues with healthcare in the region, they can reach out to Tara Noseworthy, our Client Relations Manager, at 1-833-784-6802. Or there's also a Client Relations at westernhealth.nl.ca. Tara does an excellent job at responding to these inquiries quickly and thoroughly. Wishing you all the best in the future. Michelle House, Interim CEO, Western Health. So that was at least a bit of information for people out there that are wondering, well, you know, how come Western Health don't do this, and how come we don't do that, and how come we don't give them bursaries? And you know, a lot of people don't realize like the things that we've done, even from our Thomas Roddick Hospital over the years. You know, like paying the rental car for a surgeon that stayed here for good many years, and then he left, you know, afterwards, and stuff like that. And we try our best. We've always tried our best, our hospital especially, to do that, to incite the people to stay here.
That's a good point. Back
Yeah.
when I was on council.
Yeah.
When Mayor Stein was the mayor, and we had incentives, just like you said, we paid lease payments for especially for surgeons or specialists that existed here. So, there's leadership on all fronts. There's two things we take very seriously in this town: our airport and our healthcare. And it's groundswell support. That's a definite. So very good for that. I've got a couple of updates.
Okay.
First of all, today, March 23rd, is the day where the closing bids go in for submissions to the Crown for all of the.
Yeah. That's right.
Wind power companies that are looking at producing wind power and hydrogen in the province of Newfoundland and Labrador. It was a process that the government put in to be a fair process. It was a lengthy process compared to our neighboring province in Nova Scotia, who had a much higher velocity when it came to fast tracking their permitting. But the day has come, and I'm hoping that the Director's office responsible for those Crown lands will be able to execute within a very short timeline. We've heard 2 to 4 weeks, and I'm looking forward to announcements coming out to World Energy or other wind powered companies in this province get Crown land so they can move forward with their business plans. So let's stay in tune for the next couple of weeks and see, but it'll be a really big step for Stephenville, for World Energy. And just on the scale of World Energy, singularly, all the applicants, World Energy has the largest project of scale. They are at 3 gigawatts. And just to give anybody I guess a correlation of what that means, it's about 7 times bigger than Muskrat Falls from an energy perspective. And it's about 2/3 the size of Churchill Falls from an energy perspective. So this is a big project. It's at $12 billion. And I'm looking forward to the start of construction for just not just a hydrogen plant, but also the windmills. So that's one thing. I gotta say, I listened to the budget today and I was very pleased with the provinces. It was a very aggressive budget, but it was the timing of this budget and the expenditures to me made a lot of sense on a couple of fronts. The Conference Board of Canada has identified Newfoundland as leading the country in economic growth in 2023. And it's because we are very rich in natural resources. Our mining sector, our oil and gas, our fishery, our tourism, our forestry sector. We are a very rich province. Now we have a new energy regime coming on from one of our natural resources, wind. And that's really not in the equation, I think, even that we're leading, because it's going to take time for these projects to ramp up. Remember, the project in Stephenville in its totality will take 5 to 7 years. That's how big this project is. But they identified that there would be no taxes, no tax or fees increase. They've got a significant part of the budget on healthcare, but they have one of the largest budgetary expenditures ever for road construction. For anybody that drives our roads, that's welcoming news. And but on a localized perspective, there's a couple of things that impacts this community. One is they're increasing the municipal operating grants for municipalities. Although I would have liked to see more. It is an increase. I think it's $3 million, but not 3 million for us. That gets split up. But at least it's additional MOGs coming our way.
3 million on top of what they're,
On top of what they have.
yeah.
The other thing I wanted to mention was they mentioned that there's $250,000 set aside in this budget to start the planning for a new long-term care facility in Bay St. George. Well, I got some really good news for the province. Part of your planning, we already got it done because we have the land allocated behind the Sir Thomas Roddick Hospital already identified for a long-term care facility. And that actually models the business plan of the province and where long-term care facilities should be adjacent to a primary health facility like the Sir Thomas Roddick Hospital. You can't get anything done unless you get the planning and your engineering done. So that's a good start for us. The other thing I want to mention is they did announce funding for new collaborative care clinics for the province.
Yeah.
In areas where they don't have it. We have one in Stephenville, and we have a wonderful group of professionals, care providers, and we have excellent equipment. The problem we have in Stephenville is the building is not functional. It's got accessibility issues. It's got functional issues. For example, examining rooms do not have a sink or hygiene practices in healthcare. So even though they put money into the budget in the past to renovate the building's exterior, and it actually looks beautiful outside, it's still not functional. And it was my hope that we were going to see a new long-term care facilities, now a new medical care clinic in Stephenville.
Yeah.
That they would actually move out of that building because.
I thought it was in the works though.
What's that?
I thought it was in the works.
Well, we were kind of informed by Western Health that they thought it was going to be in the budget. But a new one for us was, from what I understand, is not in the budget. And our facility is substandard from a functionality perspective. That works against patients and the health providers that work. The other thing I'm going to say that it's great to see that while the courthouse is still in Stephenville, we hope it's going to stay, that they're continuing with the accessibility issues of the elevator. This work is ongoing, and we do know that when that incident happened, I believe last year, Susan or any council members who may remember, an elderly gentleman fell and broke his hip trying to get into the courthouse. And but we had meetings with government, Minister John Abbott, and they did get the money approved. So let's hope that that elevator gets up and running sooner than later. On that note, I think that's about all I've got. Any other business?
Well, we're just gonna have to see what's going on with that medical clinic.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to do some follow-up because it is a provincial building that could be utilized for other, but it's just not functional for patients or the health providers that work there. So maybe we'll do a follow-up with the Mr. Osborne on that.
See, Mr. Mayor, is not only the inside of the building that's really bad. Those front steps, that is the entrance. That is the entrance. And for anybody to come along and look at those steps. I mean, if you're a young person, if you're a teenager, maybe you can run up those steps or walk up those steps. The senior people can't. Even people in their 50s and 60s, it's hard for them to get up the steps.
People in
You
their
have to-
30s too, Laura.
And then in 30s too.
But you have to go in the back.
I know you do, but they put a ramp on there, but I don't know how many miles long.
It's a mile.
But it's really long.
Yeah, it's
You know,
not functional.
no, it's not. No,
22 and 23-year-old
it's not healthy.
Air Force personnel that
Yeah.
were under prime.
Well, it's not
Yeah,
healthy
and
and the heat
It's
in the,
really busy back there.
and the heat in the summer, Myra, is terrible, the heat there, you know. So there's a lot of reasons why. I mean, we still have the letter from Andrew Parsons when he went through the building saying he can't understand how come people got to work in that building. So I got the letter, I saw it today, so we'll probably write that same, send a copy of that letter with it. But I think we should follow up with that because, you know, we need Bay St. George long-term care, and we also need a big clinic that doctors can work out of in comfort to the patients and themselves.
Is that big oil tank still there?
Believe it is. I'm not sure. I don't go to that clinic very often.
They just put a thing through.
Susan said yes.
Is it still there, Susan?
Yes, it is, yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
think that the province should look at the creation of a new critical care clinic and perhaps converting that building into some kind of affordable housing unit back to the residence or apartment style that it once was, or look at putting it up for sale.
Yeah.
But it's certainly not conducive to best practice in medicine right now, and that's what we're aiming for, and I think that's what the province should be aiming for. So it's just not suitable.
And you know, a very good point when you mentioned best practices. The province identified that the determinants of health that came out of the healthcare accord identified some shortfalls. So for example, how we were running our ambulance without consistency and central dispatch, that's being addressed in the budget, which is a good thing. So we're trying to fix the gaps. But I tell you, we just don't have a gap when it comes to facilities. We got a big hole. And we got to deal with it. So let's do some follow-up. We're a town that's growing, and we need to ensure that all levels of government continues to step in to assist us as we grow our economy.
I think they should still look at a new highway right across the province for us, though.
Absolutely.
And, that's, a lot of people don't talk about it. We don't talk about it very often. Some of my former colleagues would say, my God, Laura, we can't even get the road paved from Route 460 or whatever. I said, listen, you don't get anything unless you go after it.
And Councillor,
Yeah.
I'd be content
Yeah,
that we would start off
yeah,
at not mile one, because they got divided highways out there on the
Yeah.
East Coast, that we would start at Port Bass
yes,
to Stephenville.
definitely.
And start the planning and the engineering on a
Yeah.
dual highway there. Because that takes a lot of traffic coming out of Port Bass. It stretches out as you get an hour, 2, 3, 4 hours down the line.
Absolutely.
But for the first 2 hours, those roads get pretty congested because you got all the tractor trailers and all the passenger traffic coming off. So I think that we need to push that the next phase of dual highway needs to be from Port Bass to Stephenville.
Here, here.
It should be probably, I want to see it all the way through. Because if you figure out the kilometers that's done already, there's not a lot of kilometers left to do. And not only that, look at the jobs it would create. And even if you had to charge a toll afterwards, like one of the other provinces did.
Yeah.
For a few years.
Yeah,
But I think there needs to be more people talking about it,
absolutely.
even the Chamber of Commerce and people like that, because if you don't talk about it, I mean, we're living in dark ages here up on the West Coast when it comes to the highways and roads, and you take the wreck house. I mean, and the ferry, I mean, that's our only way to get across. You're gonna go over unless you want to fly.
Well, what separates a developing country or community or nation from an undeveloped is transportation.
Yeah.
So you can never go wrong with investing in transportation. And as an island, we lost our.
Collins good at writing letters. He could write a letter. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead, Miss Mayor.
Yeah, so, very good point and, good discussion, but this province is a really good state. We've had some really rough years, there's no doubt, but we're in good shape now as we move forward. There's surplus in the $10 billion budget. I'm sure before too long, we're going to pass our $10 million budget on our town council with the growth that we're going to have with new tax regimes on new commercial residential that's coming forward. But on that note, I would ask a member of council to adjourn the meeting. By Councilor Lenny Keller, seconder. Second, Councilor Myra White, all in favor.
Aye.
Motion carried. Meeting adjourned.
Bang off.
Bang on.
You could tell we didn't leave.
Good clock.
Okay, can you hear me?